America or wherever it is that you might be watching from, and welcome to the OH.Report video podcast, served up hot and fresh like we're streaming out of an oven or something. And we have got a special show for you guys here today. That's right. We have not one, but two AP poll champion boys high school basketball teams in the house. How about the Colonel Crawford Eagles being represented by a couple of their senior studs, and then their head coach David Sheldon, and then not seen, we've got him in the background, but Tiffin Calvert also is here in the building along with the rest of the crew. Hey, yeah, let's give it up for the Senecas first. But the usual crew minus Hayden Gray is here today, so let's first introduce you to Travis Big League Berardi. Say something.
You know what's crazy? Over the last 28 days, we've had over 1 million people watch us. I don't know why you want to watch people like us, but hey, thanks.
Yeah, appreciate all 1 million of you for finding us out here in little old OH.Report country. How about G and Storm? Nothing little about these two.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Absolutely nothing little about me. So.
All right, guys. Well, you three were all down at the University of Dayton this past weekend. You took in the girls' state basketball championship. So, Travis, I'll let you lead the conversation here. Tell me about what you saw, what went down.
Well, I think I still have kind of like basketball jet lag. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. It feels like we were down there for a week, but it was only 3 days. First of all, congrats to Buckeye Central, the Buckettes, making it to the state Final Four. They didn't have their best third quarter, and Waterford was able to take advantage and get to the state championship and then winning that. But the 4 games on Saturday, they were, a couple of them were not so much good games, but blowouts, and then the final one was great. But Worthington Christian, Purcell, Mary in the first one, the D3 game. G and Storm, you saw Worthington Christian play in the regional, but Purcell Marion's just so much better out of anybody in Division III.
Yeah, it was actually kind of nuts because Worthington Christian started off pretty hot, I think.
Mm-hmm. It was close.
Purcell just came back and kind of took care of business. D. Alexander had almost 20 points on the night, so it was a fun one to watch, and it was just a kind of a surreal experience to be there at Dayton, and just where you've seen guys like Obi Toppin play and just be there firsthand watching a lot of first timers get crowned state champions this year.
Yeah, and that Purcell Marion squad started 3 freshmen, so they'll probably be back for the next couple of years. Second game, the D2 game. Kettering Archbishop Alter knocked off Sheridan. Sheridan in the semifinal, you saw it on our Facebook and Twitter, that crazy triple overtime game where Norton, it looked like they won it, but the buzzer beater was after the buzzer, so they go in overtime, win it, get to the championship game. But Kettering Alter just so much better. They knocked out Harvest Prep in the semifinal, the team that knocked off Shelby. And talking with some people, everybody knew that Alter was probably the best team in Division II once they got to the tournament, and they showed it.
Yeah, I was the one who covered this game, and Sheridan, they couldn't get anything to go offensively. It really was a defensive battle, a lot of fouls in the first half, and finally Alter was able to pull away. I think they were just the head and shoulders, the better team that day. They held Sheridan 33% from downtown and 30% from the field, and Alter was able to shoot about 45% from downtown, so that was really the difference maker. But it was a back-and-forth affair in the first half, but Archbishop Alter was able to pull away there in the last final minutes.
Then the game Hayden covered was the D4 game. Waterford, the team that had a big third quarter to pull away from Buckeye Central. They ended up winning the state championship, but this was a defensive battle. They were up 9-0 after one. It was a 9-8 second quarter, 9-4 third quarter, so not a lot of scoring, but Waterford pulls away. 4 of their last 5 field goals they made in the fourth quarter. 1 of their last 7 was New Knoxville. Waterford wins the D4 state championship 35-26, and it kind of leaves a sour note because if Buckeye Central can get through that third quarter and the way New Knoxville played, the Buckettes probably win a state championship. But hey, that's why you play in the state tournament in the Final Four, those 4 teams. And then finally the D1 championship game, which was the best game of the whole weekend. Reynoldsburg knocks off Mason 63-56. They were down 11 with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter, but the number 83 ranked player in all of the country, Mariana Russell, scores 28 points, most of them in the third and fourth quarter, just to bring them back. And then in overtime, she literally scores 3 straight buckets to help them pull away. She went up against Kyla Oldacre, the 25th ranked player in all the country. Oldacre going to Miami of Florida, Russell going to West Virginia University. I got to talk to her afterwards and said I can't wait for her to dominate the Big 12 under Mike Carey, but Reynoldsburg comes out 63-56 in a great game. All 4 highlights you can watch live, well, not live, but free on the OH Report Facebook and YouTube pages. But it was a great weekend, long weekend, but we were happy to be down there.
Yeah, appreciate you gentlemen going down there, getting all the coverage for us. And I was at Bowling Green State University 5 straight days, basically. We were camped out there. And let's go ahead and bring in the Division III BGSU regional runners-up, the Colonel Crawford Eagles. Here in the house today, we have Mason Studer, the Northwest District Player of the Year, last year's Northern 10 Conference Player of the Year, Carter Valentine, and then their head coach, David Sheldon. David, we'll start with you. Your number 16 for you, a pretty special one. How rare of a group would you say that you had over these last few years, headlined by these two right here?
You know, each group's different over 16 years. You know, it's our 5th regional trip, and the thing about this group is there was 5 special seniors, and it started with these two. You know, they're very talented, and, you know, they sort of followed their lead. And, you know, this wasn't developed November through March. This was the off season. When nobody's in the gym, not like what we saw at Bowling Green State University. These guys work at the game. It doesn't matter if it's summer, fall, even our football guys in the fall are in the gym. And the stuff they did in the spring, you know, they had big AAU. You know, they played with Coach Lash, who did a great job with these two, and we had some other guys play. So that's where it started, and just the leadership of this group and the camaraderie. You know, we're big on defining roles in our program. We have been for 16 years, and everybody accepted what we needed to be successful night in and night out. And it was a special group, and it's always tough. That last game, you know, there's only 4 teams that get to end with a win. Right. And to get to the Elite 8 and play a unbelievable program. You know, it's OG's 3rd trip in a row of going to the state. If you go back to COVID, they would have been and won it all too.
Sure.
And, you know, we came up to a battle, we fought, went down to the end, and it was a tough loss.
Mason, I understand that you provided some motivation for everybody in the offseason. You posted up something in the locker room for everybody to see. If you could fill us in on what it was that you put in everybody's locker and how did that fuel the team during this season?
Yeah, so I actually got the idea from Luke Rolson, who's a great player at Western Reserve. When they lost to, I believe it was Eastwood. Yeah, they lost. Coach Sheldon actually filled me on this, but he posted the score, and he just typed it out on a piece of paper and taped it to his door, so that every morning when he woke up, he had to see it. And I thought that was really cool. So I did the same thing. I typed out the score. I typed out a couple, like Jake Furr, he tweeted something about how Trey Paxton exploded in the first quarter, and I pasted that on there. And then at the end, I said, do you remember that feeling? And so after that, I typed up similar ones, and I put one on Coach Sheldon's door, so he had to see it every day. And then right before our first practice, I printed off all of them, and I went into every single locker and taped it up. So every day when you go to put on your practice stuff, you had to see that. And then once tournaments hit, I posted a new one, and it said, satisfaction is the first step to failure. Because I just felt like, okay, we won districts, but now that we're at regionals, that was one of our goals, was to make it to regionals. And once you become satisfied, you're one step closer to failure. So I posted that in the locker room so that everybody kind of saw that and just kept working.
Yeah, obviously it worked for you guys. You got deeper in the tournament than any team in Colonel Crawford history. So Carter, explain to me, how did that happen? What about this group was special enough that you were able to get to a regional championship, fueled by the motivation provided by your buddy right there?
Mason's a big part of that. We had a few kids in the off season during football. In the summer, he took them in the gym every single day, and just the work they put in the off season definitely paid off. Obviously, the whole season, Braxton Baker stepped up, had an amazing year. Derek Horsley. There's a lot of kids are going to come back next year and hopefully get back to the position we were at this year. But yeah, a lot of thanks to this guy right here. So.
Well, minus the bittersweet ending, of course, losing to OG. Describe this last week for me, going to the big stage. You guys are playing in a college arena. I mean, it was lit. You guys had the most people in attendance of any school that was there the entire week. Just what was it like being a part of it these last few days over at Bowling Green State and getting to compete on a big stage?
It was great. I remember specifically
lining up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Mason turned around, looked at me. This is the final game, and he looks at me and goes, "Take a look around." And I remember just looking around, seeing every seat filled, and it was just it was breathtaking, but it was definitely fun. So.
You want to elaborate on that, Mason? Anything that really stood out to you from this last week?
For sure. I remember we went on a big run against Harvest Prep, and they took a timeout, and I just remember it erupted, and we were kind of on the opposite side of that in the second game. But still, just knowing that there's that many people there watching you, and maybe not you specifically, but you have a chance to make an impression on them is really big. And I talked to a lot of people who have graduated, and I just try to stay in contact with them, and everybody just kept saying, like, take this in because it's over before you know it. And just even as like you're locked in and you're focused, but as hard as it is to try to just take a look around, like just make sure you do it, because like one day you'll look back and try to remember that. And if you don't have that time where you just looked in and try to embrace it all, then you're going to regret that. So that was a big thing for me, is just trying to, like, the national anthem, that's a time where right before you start you can kind of just relax a little bit. And so that was cool to just look around and see everybody and know that you had a chance to make an impression on them.
To even get to the point of regionals, you guys had maybe the most extraordinary comeback that I've personally been a part of and got a cover on the OH Report. Storm, you called the game with me, and I know that you got a question for these gentlemen about how the heck you did what you did against Western Reserve.
Yeah, for sure, and this is kind of for all you guys, but I mean, going to that fourth quarter down big, what was the conversation in that third quarter break to spark that comeback? Because that was probably one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life.
I'll start on that. Every scouting report, our motto is one possession at a time our way. And we talked, hey, you're not going to get a 16-point basket. And I said, we just got to chip away. And, we got into it and we cut it down. There were some timeouts. And this is what people don't know. After our sectional win, they only played 3 quarters in the sectional championship. On Monday and Tuesday, we get to practice. And at the end, they said, Coach, we were used to playing 2-3 games. We got to run some homicides after practice. A homicide's a double suicide. And these guys are on the line Monday and Tuesday running homicides and then shooting free throws. If they missed, they had to run again. This wasn't Coach Sheldon. There was no time on the clock. And I looked at him in the huddle. I said, guys, Monday and Tuesday we're running homicides for this. You got to run through a wall, and we got to turn it up even more. And, and we were able to press. And, I thought our conditioning in that really helped us in the fourth quarter. And we were able to get some turnovers, some buckets. And they just never got caught up in the moment and just kept playing one possession at a time when you look at that fourth quarter. But, this was a player-led team. This wasn't Coach Sheldon, my assistant coaches. This was led by a special group of players, and player-led teams are always a lot more better than a coach-led team. They took ownership at all times. So I think that was a big reason when you look at that fourth quarter.
And you two in particular, you scored the bulk majority of the points in that fourth quarter after doing nothing offensively. 2 combined points heading in there, just to have the mindset to be able to lift yourself and your game to a new level. Did it feel special? Did it just feel kind of like an out-of-body experience that you were just dropping bucket after bucket after being so cold for 3 quarters?
I'd say that, we're not really motivated on points, so going into it, it wasn't so much that, like, oh, we got to start getting our shots. That wasn't really the issue, but we just realized we were down, and stuff started to open up more. One time, like, I came off a ball screen, I remember, and they did trap the whole night on ball screens, but one of the guys just forgot to trap, and that left me open for a shot, and things just started to kind of click, and we were able to get some shots, get out in transition. Turnovers helped, and I wouldn't say necessarily that we weren't like looking to score early on, but things just kind of started to open up more, and we realized that if we're going to want to win this game, we're going to have to start hitting some shots and getting some momentum going. So.
Well, David, when you coach from the sideline, when you call in the plays, you go to a different vocal octave than your normal speaking voice. Talk to me about developing that. Is that something you had to practice and work on? How do you even do what you do on game night? Because it does not sound like you when you're calling in the plays.
I expect my kids to compete for 32 minutes, and I always tell them I'm going to coach hard for 32 minutes. And it's nothing special. It's just I expect them, and I'm going to coach hard. Each one of these have been vocally, I've been high vocal with each one of these 3 games. I remember in the regional semi meeting Mason at half court, nose to nose, and I probably got some of my saliva. Go get the ball in the press, Mason. But, that's just and then my guys know that. But, the 26 wins and all this stuff, the thing you miss most, I don't care about the wins. It's the relationship with these guys in the locker room. The good times we have and joking and laughing outside the lines. But we step between the lines. Coach Sheldon's going to be intense, and I expect them to be intense. And, when you've been around for 16 years, these guys know what to expect from me. So, the media and the community that only sees us on Friday nights, they don't understand the behind the scenes, the love and the hugs and the pats, that go on to lead to that relationship that we have with these guys.
Carter, this is for you. This goes alongside that as well, with Coach saying he coaches at 150% like you guys play. How many towels does Coach go through per game? Because it seems like he is constantly sweating with that towel on his shoulder. Does he have multiple ones? Does he use just one up and it's soaked at the end of the game? How many does he use?
Honestly, I don't pay attention, but I remember one time I was so sweaty and he had a towel around his neck, so I took it, wiped my face with it, and I was like,
big mistake.
I was like, okay, I'm not doing that again. But no, I remember he sweats a lot, so he's very intense. Great coach.
David, do you have a towel count? Do you just use one per game, or do you need backups?
I'm very superstitious. It's the same towel every game, but when it's done, you can wring water or sweat out of that thing. And those are bad genes that my father gave to me that were sweaters. It doesn't matter where I'm at, I'm a sweater. And it's not for show. It's just I sweat so much, and I got contacts. It's all over me because I'm intense. I am. My brother Chris a little bit more laid back, like Coach Otterbaucher, where I'm a little bit more intense, like my father.
Yeah, I saw Chris was actually watching your guys' regional championship game poolside in Florida. He sent me a picture to my Twitter. I was a little surprised that he wasn't in the building, but a much-deserved vacation, I'm sure, for him. If you want to give us any insight, I know these are private conversations, but when you and Chris had an opportunity to talk to one another after the Western Reserve game, who spoke first and what started the conversation?
Well, first of all, we're on a brother group chat. I'm the oldest of 5. And then we have some stepbrothers, but us 5 brothers are on a group chat, and we get on the bus, and you know how it is. You got 50 texts when you win. When you lose, you've got about 2 texts.
Right.
But my 2 youngest brothers, one lives in South Florida and one up in Parma. They're just abusing me and Chris right after the game, so there was no love. But Chris and I, we texted, and then the 2 days later talked, and I'll be honest, of the 5 district championships, it was tough for me to celebrate. He's my best friend. He just got named Ohio High School Basketball Coach Association State Coach of the Year. Wow. What he did with losing 2 All-Ohioans in Rollinson and Scrata this year is phenomenal. He beats Margaretta in the regionals. He beats Huron in the regionals. A heck of a game. One of the best high school games I've seen when Calvert went up to Western and beat them. And then he loses us. Chris will play anybody. And he's a great coach. He's got over 320-some wins. And, it was tough. But, hey, he was back to, hey, I want you to watch a Harvest Prep OG film. He watched a Harvest Prep and an OG film and let me know my thoughts. We talk every day, X's and O's, and just about life and what we deal with in coaching. So, it was back to normal. We competed for 32 minutes, and you media guys and fans blew it out of proportion.
It's our jobs.
It's our players. These are my sons. Yeah. I have 2 daughters at home. These are my sons. And for Chris, those are his boys. And we just competed, and then it was over. But it was tough afterwards because, winning's great and that, but the pain of losses in our household with my father as a coach in the Hall of Fame, my wife with close to 400 wins,
right.
Myself, Chris over 300-some wins, and I have a brother, Mike, that's a head coach in Raleigh, North Carolina. The losses sting so much more because you just think about every possession, what it does. And, it's like when you get beat on Saturday night, it doesn't end just then. It takes a month for us to get over. Kids are easy. They go on to spring sports tomorrow or whatever. But as coaches, it's dictated every family vacation in my life, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, because everything's dictated around when we're coaching basketball. So Chris and I, that was tough. I was extremely happy for my guys and our community, but it's of the 5 district championships, the toughest one I've ever had to win.
Well, a lot of wins, of course, for the Sheldon family. No question about it. It's been awesome watching you guys, and a lot of wins for you two. The 2 winningest players, I believe, or at least the senior class, 92 wins is what I read, something like that. That's a lot. Any of them stand out? Any top memory from your guys' career, would you say?
My freshman year, we beat Upper 47-46 at home, and that was big. That one sticks out. That was the first time I ever got to witness like a true celebration in the locker room with water going everywhere and Coach Sheldon dancing, and that was pretty cool. So that one really sticks out. I mean, beating Western, that's a big one for sure. Those are the 2 big ones that stick out for me.
Any
Western.
particular win, Carter?
Western.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of a game that crazy, honestly.
Me either.
That was
I remember you guys
mind
cutting down the
blowing.
nets. I asked you, I was like, what just happened? I don't think anybody knew. You're like, I think we won.
yes.
All right, well, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us, and do stick around because coming up here in a little bit, we got some games, we got some throwdowns. The Eagles are going to go toe-to-toe with Tiffin Calvert. But thank you guys for coming on. Give it up for the Eagles.
Hey, and real quick, can we just give Coach Sheldon's daughter some love? That national anthem before the Western game was awesome.
You know, that was my brother's. You know, right after Thursday night, we win and Chris wins, and we're talking on the way home, you know, just normal like we do every night. And Chris says, hey, my niece and your daughter's going to sing the national anthem at Norwalk. You know, she had sang the national anthem at the state tournament 3 years ago.
I remember
when she was
that.
a 3rd grader. And I think more community people said your daughter was better than the game, and it was a pretty good game. But, you know, everybody likes to see a 5th grade little girl out there singing the national anthem. But thank you very much.
And
Yeah,
no
she
problem.
brought down the house, no question about it. All right, Eagles, go ahead, grab your trophies, and let's make way for the other AP poll champions that we have here in the building. What a season for Colonel Crawford, of course, getting all the way to the regional championship. Ottawa-Glandorf eventually would win the region, as they seem to do just about every year. But the furthest journey in the history of the program for the Eagles, boy, it was a real pleasure to watch them at Bowling Green State University enjoy the best season in program history. Same exact storyline for our next guests who are joining us right now. How about the Tiffin Calvert Senecas? Give it up, people. We've got head coach Jon Otterbaucher, 5th year with the program. We've got Blake Ronsky with us. We've got Garrett Spahn here with us, and then we've got Nolan Beaker, so 3 seniors and their head coach. We'll begin with you, Coach, and just tell us about the senior class. You had 7 of them, I believe, right? So it was a big group, big mixture. Tell me about the whole crew and how it turned out to be such a special season.
They've been playing together since they were youth kids, and good skills and fundamentals been taught all the way through, and we just try to continue to build on that. And in order to get 7 seniors to come through their program, you got to have a good community and good families, and they bought into it from early on and continued to strive to be as good as they can. And we used every single one of them all year, regardless if it was in practice or games, and I think they did the best they could and continued to strive to get better.
Yeah, you got some record setters sitting here with us. Tell me, though, about the expectations heading into the season. Did you guys know that you had something special preseason heading into Game 1, or did it have to kind of develop organically throughout the course of the year?
Going from piggybacking off what Coach Sheldon said, we do a lot in the summer and a lot in the fall. They work hard at all times, and we knew what we had coming back and losing All-State performer Nick Cipher and another couple starters, that we still had enough that we thought would be pretty successful. We don't look at the season as success and wins and losses. We try to compete for a league title. We try to compete for a district title. Those are our main goals, and if the wins come along the way, then that's awesome. But we look at it as continuing it better every day and continue to try to go 1-0.
All right, I'd like to hear from all the players on this one. We'll start with you, Blake, and just talk about the growth of this team from the start of the season until the end, and how you guys were able to get to the point 26-1, the best season in program history.
You know, our chemistry has always been really good. Start of the season, I felt like, we were a little rusty just coming off football and stuff. As the season progressed, we just got a lot better. Chemistry grew a lot more. I'd say our bond grew a lot better as the season went on.
Garrett?
Yeah, throughout the year, we started to trust each other more. Trust, Coach Otterbaucher and everything that he was telling us and our assistants, and we just kind of took it one step at a time and enjoyed it all.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing for us is just no one cared who scored, no one cared about the stats, no one cared about any of that, especially towards the beginning of the season when we really realized that we were just a bunch of seniors playing basketball since we were little guys, and then no one cares who scores. We just all did, and we found a way to win every single time.
Yeah, without getting to watch you guys play during the regular season until your last game, that was something that definitely was very evident during your tournament run. People don't care who's getting the numbers, who's doing what, just as long as you're getting the wins. The closeness that you guys must have off the court, I imagine, would exceed even what you have on the court. Would you say that's accurate?
Absolutely. These are my boys. All of the seniors, they're all my boys. Our ball boy, team manager, Sam Krajewski, it's my boy. They all are.
Who would you guys say is the vocal leader of the team?
I'll go out there. None of them.
Is that you then, Coach?
No, not really. They're more of a lead by example. Little things here and there, but they really don't have that guy that goes out and says, get your heads out of your tails and let's go and that kind of stuff. It's more of a listen, look what I'm doing, and then follow my lead.
All right. So for the players then, let's just stick to the seniors. I'm curious of you guys. Who would you say is the funniest senior on the team? Who's the class clown?
The team manager, Sam Krajewski.
Okay.
That was the shot that he hit against Danbury. Was our senior night. He got in, and we were all talking before the game. And it's like, how are we going to get this kid to score? Like, he would miss wide open layups from point blank and never make any shot. But he was the funniest kid ever. And then somehow he gets in, trailing the play, and shoots a transition three from 2 steps behind the line and banks it in. And we were all so happy. It was like just so funny because it was just watching over again. Like, that's just the funny guy of the team. He really brought us together.
Do you guys have a dress code at your school?
We do.
You do? So you're not really allowed to show any like flavor? You guys are all kind of wearing the same thing?
Oh, yeah. We wear the same thing every day.
Okay, well, I guess outside of school, who would you say has the best fashion, the best dressed player on the team?
Me, right here.
Fair enough. What about a ladies' man? Who's a real charmer of the females? Is that Garrett?
I have a girlfriend. So
that
just
helps.
one.
That's a good start.
Just one.
Just one.
What about a brainiac of the seniors? Who's the smartest guy on the squad?
Reed Warnament, who just came out for his first year in all of high school playing basketball, and he just knows everything. He does our math homework for us, and he tries to help us and stuff. But the kid
yeah, it's good to have a guy like that on the team.
Oh, yeah. It's not even just because of basketball. We'll be sitting there and no one knows what to do, and the first person we look to is Reed, and he'll walk right over and just do it in 2 seconds when we've been sitting there for 2 hours. So, yeah, he's the brains of the team.
Who would you say is most likely to be president out of you guys? Would it be Reed again with all that knowledge?
I'd have to say probably Reed. No one else would be qualified at all for that.
That's fair. Coach, would you agree with that?
I would have to go with somebody else. I have to go with Jackson. Jackson's a talker. Jackson Sizlove, number 11 on the team. He handshakes everybody. He knows what to say at the right time. But yeah, he's going to be. He seems to be the politician type that is going to be kissing the babies and shaking hands all the time.
I got a question for you, Garrett. How was I know you've been one of the better players on the team, but how has your game developed over the years to become a district player of the year?
Compared to last year, I had Seifert, and he scored probably like 18 to 20 a game. So somebody needed to fulfill his role a little bit scoring. We had a couple other guys step up, but I feel like scoring the basketball is definitely where I took a step. And then I actually was trying on defense this year, and it helped out a lot more.
Yeah, what a concept. You put in some effort and it works out a little bit better for you. Same question, basically, except for you, Blake. I'm told that you're the all-time leading three-point scorer in the history of the school, knocking them down from downtown. What does it take to get in a position, or at least what was your method?
I would say everyone on our team was really good at finding me, so I had a lot of open opportunities. And I would also say my defense got a lot better this year, and it opened up a lot more opportunities on offense. So,
I got a question for Coach Otterbaucher, and this comes from Zach Ruth, former coach of Northmore. He played against you when you were at Cardington, but you went to a state Final Four back then with Cardington in high school. How did you take that experience and put it into this season to get your guys ready for a regional run?
We look at it as we're trying to go one game at a time, one step at a time. And actually, we talked before the regional final game. The league championship's fun. Everybody likes it. I didn't show much emotion into it. Same thing with districts. We won districts a couple years ago, won it again this year, and I'm like, yeah, that's fun, but what else? So, like, going into Friday night, I'm like, this is the reason that I don't get too excited. Like, this is our game, this is our moment. I've been there. It's your guys' turn to take that over. And it is just one of those things where you have that experience, so we need to go relax and play and do what we need to do. And we try to instill that calm and that collect into the players so that they're able to go out and relax and play.
All right, guys, I'd like to go down the line here. We'll start with you, Coach, and just give me, maybe the top memory from the season that you think is going to stick with you for a long time that already you've probably played back in your brain a few times.
You want the positive or the negative?
I think we'd like to hear the negative, Coach. What's sticking with you?
The Friday night was tough. Didn't have our A game. I think we were a little slow on rotations and help side, and we did a lot of ball watching, which we're not used to doing. So, like, just reliving those moments in the game kind of hurts. Honestly, the positives is the big games that we play, setting up big scrimmages, beating Old Fort on a last-second three, which obviously was a great coaching play by me where the other team just didn't guard us. Going to Cedar Point and beating a good, solid Tuscarora Central Catholic team, beating Margaretta by 15, ended up being able to play Western Reserve. Like, those are the moments that these guys have played for, and those types of big games is what we want to see year in and year out.
Go ahead, Blake.
Memories?
Yeah, if you got a top memory that really sticks out from the season that you've thought about a lot, or you think what you're going to take with you and cherish.
Obviously a big memory will be breaking the three-point record. Never really imagined doing that, but yeah, that's probably one of my biggest memories. And
what game did that happen in?
We played Hopewell, rivalry game, so it was a pretty big game to do it in.
Garrett?
Mine would probably be hitting that shot against Old Fort, second game of the year to, knock them off. After I made it, I didn't really know what to do. I just kind of walked away and was staring at the crowd because we packed the place, and it was just a great memory.
Were you staring at your fans or their fans?
Ours this time.
All right.
Well, I can't say what Gary said because it was his shot, but probably beating Old Fort in the district championship. They're a good team, and it's always nerve-wracking going into those big games. But we went out and handled business, and it was fun because that place was packed.
Well, we'll see if you guys can handle business yet again, because it is time for our games. That's right, we got a few minute-to-win-it activities coming up, so we're going to bring in our brawn, go ahead and remove the coffee table. And first up, we are going to have AAU teammates Garrett Spahn going toe-to-toe right now with Mason Studer. And the game that we have set up for you guys is called Bring It to the Top. So for this game, what you're going to have to do is take this stack of cups. There's one that's a different color from all the other ones that's starting on the bottom. You're going to have to bring it to the top, one cup at a time. It's going to be hard with those microphones, so you can go ahead and set those down. All right, guys, we want a good, clean, fair competition. Are you both ready?
Yes.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Off to a little bit of a slow start here. This is pretty challenging, though, folks. Looks like Garrett's lost a cup, but he recovers nicely, gets it on the bottom. We're about even right now. I think we're exactly even. Actually, now Mason picking up the pace, taking the lead. Spawn, don't be melting down, man. You got to get these bragging rights. He drops another cup.
I think I'm going to have them. I can't even see the blue one.
So he's about halfway through. Looks like Studer a few cups ahead now. Mason is starting to get in his groove. You feel like you're starting to find it now?
I don't know about that.
Got about 10 more cups here to go. Studer versus Spawn. The showdown we've all been waiting for. Coming down to the wire. Mason says he can't see straight, but he's only got a couple more cups to go. Will he bring it to the top? It looks like he will. Congratulations, Mason Studer. You are a champion. We've got some prizes over here too, folks. How about a Frisbee and an OH.Report sticker? Nice. Congratulations. Thank you guys for participating. All right, next up, I would like to see the shooting guards, Blake Ronsky versus Carter Valentine for the Shamrock Shake. All right, gentlemen, so how this is going to work is you're both just going to turn them upside down in any way that you can, get all of these cereals into the other container. Are you ready? Ready for this, Blake? Oh, yeah. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go! So these are the guys that knock down all the shots from long range for their teams. And it looks like so far Carter's method is the best. He's got a little bit of a lead. So why did you decide to go with this strategy?
Well, you see here, you got a little circle. So I don't even know. I just kind of thought of it.
Just kind of creating the little circle, and then now it looks like you're copying Carter.
Yeah, it seemed like it's working for him, but...
Dang, that was fast. Let's go. So Carter Valentine, your champion there. We've got a free appetizer for you, and then also a Frisbee. Congratulations. All right, we're going to do the same exact game, except for now we're going to have our own G-Man go toe-to-toe with Nolan Beaker. So Team OH.Report versus an AP poll champion as you get that set up. Are you a little bit nervous going against a kid who went all the way to a regional championship?
Well, actually, before Carter got in here, I was doing this first. I have witnesses. So I think I invented this little spinner. So I'm confident.
And then, Nolan, now that you saw the strategy, that seems to be the best one so far. Is that what you're going to come with out of the gates, or are you going to surprise us all?
I think I'm going to copy Carter and Blake, so I guess hopefully I can do it faster.
All right, here we go. We're going to throw down on the count of 3, 2, 1. Get it, boys. Looks like it's going pretty well right now. G-Man may have a slight lead. I think you got to move those hands faster, Nolan. Get it going. Go, G-Man. This is the fastest I've seen you move in a long time, pal. See a little sweat forming on the brow. Oh, what? How did that happen? All of a sudden, Beaker with the victory. All right, we got a hoodie for you from Bo Lacey Construction, as well as a Frisbee. Gentlemen, if we can go ahead and bring in the table, we've got one last game. The coaches are going to go head-to-head here. All right, so this last one, Coach Sheldon versus Coach Otterbaucher. This is called Stack the Rainbow, gentlemen. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a bunch of Fruit Loops here on the table. You are going to grab one of these pipe cleaners, and then just using the pipe cleaner, you got to find one that's just the right size. You push it through on there, it'll stick, and then we're going to put 1 minute on the clock. Whoever gets the most on there is the winner. One-handed, too. All right, looks like Coach Sheldon's already got a 1-0 advantage. He's not trying to give that up. I'm pulling it off of there.
That's what you gave me.
We got the 1 minute up. All right. Here we go on the count of 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, gentlemen. All right, Dave, is there any specific strategy? Are you looking for any type of loop?
No, the only thing I do with Fruit Loops is feed my daughters in the morning breakfast, so this is a little bit different.
You don't normally partake in the Fruit Loop eating?
No.
All right, Coach. Let's see. All right. Sheldon looks like he's got about a 5-pack. Oh, you got the lead here. Are you looking for a particular color or style or what? Oh, flipping it over.
How am I cheating?
Oh, I saw 2 hands. So we'll say that's a 1-loop penalty, huh? 2 hands again, maybe a 2-loop penalty at this point.
I took one off. I'm playing the game
okay,
fair,
okay.
right?
Playing it fair. How much more time on the clock? 15 seconds, boys. Get them as fast as you can.
10 seconds.
Everyone count them down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Loops down. Yeah, it looks like Otterbaucher just dominated here. So I'm standing by now with the winning coach, Jon Otterbaucher. Wow. Tell me about just how you were able to put together this massive beatdown. I think you got him doubled up.
The wire was a little too heavy, so then I had to switch ends and be able to push down again. And as you can see, that the Fruit Loops were definitely on my side today.
Well, Coach, given that you have so much experience with Fruit Loops, I'm surprised that you didn't think to go with that same strategy.
You know, I got to coach against Coach Otterbaucher a lot at Ridgedale, so I felt sorry for him. I wanted to make sure he could win the Fruit Loops game because I remember those Ridgedale days. He got a lot smarter when these 3 guys, all of a sudden, he went over to Calvert. So I wanted to make sure he won against me with the Fruit Loops.
How about the sportsmanship from Coach Sheldon? Coach Otterbaucher, the winner here today. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, get some handshakes in there. I don't even know how to wrap this up. You want the last word, John?
No, not at all. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Coach Sheldon, great season for you guys. Continue on with your record-setting regular season victories. Gentlemen, good to see you guys again.
I'll just say this, Brian. We appreciate all you guys do for high school sports, and it's not just basketball, but being an AD and everything that you guys do. And the neat thing about this is our first scrimmage of the year was against Tiffin Calvert.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Coach Otterbaucher and I, and it was because we got a late start because of our great football run, and it's pretty neat that we end. You know, these seniors. It's a special group that he had and I had, and we all started off back in the MAC in a scrimmage back in November. So thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure. Yeah, pile it in here, guys. Bring it in. Thank you so much for coming in. A lot of champions right here. All here in the OH.Report studio, live and free for you guys on the OH.Report video podcast. Appreciate you guys coming down. It was a lot of fun. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week.